Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this morning? So, this morning we are going to talk about human resource planning. So, this topic will be discussed will be handled by Tifinny, yeah. So, before we start our lecture, as usual, so you must give the funny comments. So, say your name, your condition, and the purpose of joining this Zoom, and then what do you know something about human resource planning? Okay, please from Tiffany. It's Tiffany. Tiffany is not in the efforts. Okay, Tiffany, please. For Tiffany.
Thanks, sir. Good morning, everyone. In today's class, I will be the presenter who will explain about chapter 25 with the title of Human Resource Planning. I hope everything runs smoothly and we can discuss together later and we can gain something from our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, please. Putri Hermania.
Sorry, sir, I cannot open the camera. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Waalaikumsalam.
morning, sir, and everyone. So, the reason why I joined the class today because I want to see my friend's presentation about chapter 25 about human resource planning. So, what I know about human resource planning is
Hello? Okay, so there's something wrong.
sorry, sir. Connection is unstable.
Okay, carry on.
Human resource planning is the continuous process of systematic planning ahead to achieve optimum use of an organization, most valuable asset, quality employees. So human resource also planning ensure the best fit between employees and jobs while avoiding manpower shortage or surpluses. Thank you.
Okay, please. Nur Prastista. Or Tata, please. Tata, are you in?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir, and everyone. I joined this class today because I want to see my friend presentation about chapter 2025. Currently, I'm in good condition. What I know about human resource planning is human resource planning enables business to meet their current and future demands for talent, allowing human resource manager to anticipate and develop the skill most valuable to an organization and providing the enterprise with the optimal balance of staff in terms of available skill set and number of personnel. That's for me, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Tasya Rabiatul Alfia.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tasya Rabiatul Alfia. So, Alhamdulillah, I'm good condition. The reason why I'm joining this Zoom today because I want to learn and see my friend presentation about human resource planning. And then what I know about HR planning is the process by which member of the HR department identify current and future hiring or training needs. So good luck for Tifinny and good luck everyone. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Vila Siola Gracia.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Vilasha Gracia. Glad to see you all again. Today we will see our friend's presentation about chapter 25, Human Resource Planning. So what I know about HR planning is that it is the process of forecasting the future human resource requirement of the organization, and it also help to determine how the existing human resource capacity of the organization can be utilized to fulfill the requirement. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Asawa Yuni.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, sir,
Waalaikumsalam.
Adi, and all of my friends. I'm Arsawa Yuni, and Alhamdulillah, I'm in good condition today. And the reason I'm joining today's class because I want to see my friend's presentation about human resource planning. And what I know about today's material is This is a process that identifies current and future human resources needs for an organization to achieve its goals. Thank you.
Repilia.
Okay, good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. Currently, I'm in good condition, and the reason why I joined this meeting class today because I want to learn more about human research planning. And good luck for Tiffany for going to present today. So, what I know about human research planning: human research planning is the process of forecasting the future human resources requirements of the organization and determining as to how the existing human resource capacity of the organization can be utilized to fulfill these requirements. Thank you.
Tiffany.
Tifinny, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So today, I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to say good luck for the presentation for who delivered the presentation today. So I hope that they will give us the presentation or materials very well, and then I hope you guys are really keep really stay healthy and also fit. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Elisa Febrianti.
Good morning, everyone. The reason I joined the class today because I want to listen to my friend's presentation about human research planning, and I want to get to know more about it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Adelia Putri Riko.
So, good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. My name is Adelaide, and the reason I joined class today is because I want to learn from my friend's presentation with the material HR planning. And what I know about HR planning is a process of systematic planning ahead to achieve optimal use of organization. That's all. Thank you.
Andrian Yohando.
Yes, sir. Good morning and sir, and everyone. The reason today I joined the class is I want to get new insight about human resource planning, and I want to see my friend presentation. And in my opinion, human resource planning is a process for ensuring that the human resource requirement of an organization are identified and plans are met for satisfying those requirements. Thank you, sir.
Wayonika.
Okay, good morning everyone and Sir Today, as usual, I want to continue to learn about human resource, but this time about human resource planning, which is ensuring that a human resource is a requirement met the goal in the company. I hope Tifinny will deliver the material with smoothly. Thank you.
Kevin Nathaniel.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Today, my friend Tifinny will deliver presentations about chapter 25 that discuss about human resource planning for HR manager and the company. This is the very crucial topic because if we want to achieve the organizational goals, it's better for we to understand how to manage people greatly. So I hope I can get new insight about this topic today. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Dewi Winarni. Dewi Winarni. Muhammad Arazi Bagaswara.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Everyone. Today I good condition. Today I join this class because I want to hear my friend presentation about human resource planning. My opinion, human resource planning is the continuous process of systematic planning ahead to achieve optimum use of an organization, most valuable asset, quality, employees. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Nita Disapitri.
Good morning, sir. Condition, and I'm in Sabunok now. So the reason I can discuss today because I want to learn more about friendship genre, especially from the material that will be presented by Tiffany, which is about human resources planning. So in my opinion, human resources planning is the continuous process of systematic planning. I had to check maximum use of implementation. So I got the alternative now and the one. Thank you so much.
Okay. Dewi Winarni, are you in? Okay,
Sorry,
please. Okay, Dewi Winarni.
connection is unstable.
Okay, okay. Okay, please, Tiffany, the time is yours to present your topic, please.
Thank you. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. My name is Tifinny, and I'm going to present chapter 25 with the title of Human Resource Planning. So what is human resource planning? Human resource planning is the bridge between human resource management and strategic plan of a company. Human resource planning identifies human resource trends and identifies the human resource current and future needs of a company. Human resource planning assists company managers successfully meet future human resource demands with the right people in the right time and at the right place. So what is human resource planning according to the expert? Human resource planning determines the human resource required by the organizations to achieve its strategic goals. As defined by Bula and Scott, 1994, it is the process for ensuring that the human resource requirements of an organization are identified and plans are made for satisfying more requirements. It addresses human resource needs both in quantitative and qualitative terms, which means that answering two basic questions. First is how many people, and second is what sort of or what kind of people. So if there is there a relationship between human resource planning and business planning? Conceptually, human resource planning should be an integral part of business planning. Insofar as there are articulated strategic business plan, human resource planning interprets them in terms of people requirements. But it may influence the business strategy by drawing attention to ways in which people could be developed more effectively to further the achievement of business goals, as well as focusing on any problems that might have to be resolved in order to ensure that the people required will be available and will be capable of making the necessary contributions. As Quinn Mills 1983 indicates that human resource planning is a decision-making process that combines three important activities. The first is identifying and acquiring the right number of people with the proper skills. The second is motivating them to achieve high performance. And the last is creating interactive links between business objectives and people planning activities. In situations where a clear business strategy doesn't exist, human resource planning may have to rely more on making broad assumptions about the need for people in the future based on some form of scenario planning, which is we will be explained later. And then there is a hard and soft human resource planning. A distinction can be made between hard and soft human resource planning. The hard human resource planning is based on quantitative analysis in order to ensure that the right number of the right sort of people are available when needed. Meanwhile, the soft human resource planning is concerned with ensuring the availability of people with the right type of attitudes and motivations who are committed to the organization and engage in their work and behave accordingly. It is basically based on assessment of the requirements for these qualities and measurement of the extent to which they exist by the use of the staff surveys, the analysis of the outcomes of performance management reviews and opinions generated by focus groups. This assessment and analysis can result in plans for improving the work environment, providing opportunities to develop skills and careers, adopting a total reward approach which focuses on non-financial relational rewards as well as the financial transactional rewards. So human resource planning is said to consist of these three clear steps. The first is forecasting future people needs, as known as demand forecasting. And second is forecasting the future availability of people, which is supply forecasting. And the last is drawing up plans to match supply to demand. But this conventional wisdom represents human resource planning as an all-embracing policy-making activity on a rolling basis, precise forecasts using technically sophisticated and highly integrated planning systems. Human resource planning today is more likely to concentrate on what skills will be needed in the future and may do no more than provide a broad indication of the numbers required in the longer term. Although in some circumstances, it might involve making short-term forecasts when possible to predict activity levels and skills requirements with a reasonable degree of accuracy. Such predictions will often be based on broad scenarios rather than on specific supply and demand forecasts. So what is the aims of human resource planning? There are several aims of human resource planning, as we can see on the screen. The aims of human resource planning is in any organization will depend largely on its context, but in general terms, the typical aims might be two. First is attract and retain the number of people required with the appropriate skills, expertise, and competencies. Second is anticipate the problems of potential surpluses or deficits of people, and then to develop a well-trained and flexible workforce, thus contributing to the organization's ability to adapt to an uncertain and changing environment. To reduce dependence on external recruitment when key skills are in short supply by formulating retention as well as employee development strategies. And the last aim is to improve the utilizations of people by introducing more flexible systems of work. And here are the process of human resource planning. There are 7 steps of them. The process of human resource planning are summarized in these 7 steps. The first is business strategic plans. It is to defining future activity levels and initiatives demanding new skills. Resourcing strategy is planning to achieve competitive intellectual capital. Scenario planning is assessing in broad terms where the organization is going in its environment and the implications for human resource requirements. And then we have labor turnover analysis. It is to analyzing actual labor turnover figures and trends as an input to supply forecast. And work environment analysis, to analyzing the environment in which people work in terms of the scope of it provides for them to use and develop their skills and achieve job satisfaction. And then the last step is operational effectiveness analysis. It is to analyzing productivity, the utilizations of people, and the scope for increasing flexibility to respond to new and changing demands. And then we will discuss about resourcing strategy. The objectives of HRM resourcing strategy as expressed by KIP 1989 is to obtain the right basic material in the form of a workforce endowed with the appropriate qualities, skills, knowledge, and potential for future training. The selection and recruitment of workers best suited to meeting the needs of the organizations ought to form a core activity upon which most other HRM policies geared towards development and motivations could be built. The concept that the strategic capability of a firm depends on its resourcing capability in the shape of people provides the rationale for resourcing strategy. The aims of this strategy is to therefore to ensure that a firm achieves competitive advantage by employing more capable people than its rivals. The resourcing strategy should attempt to provide answer to these following questions. The first is, in the light of business plan, how many people are we likely to need in each of our key operational or functional areas in the short or longer term? Second is, what skills are we likely to need in the future? And then will we be able to meet needs from our existing resources? If not, where will be able to find them? And the last questions that we must answer by resourcing strategy is, what do we need to do to develop or expand our skills base? And then we have a scenario planning. Scenario planning is sometimes described as a formal strategic planning technique, but it also can be regarded as an informal approach to thinking about the future in broad terms based upon an analysis of likely changes in the internal and external environment. The creation of a scenario involves making broad assessment of likely internal developments, the direction in which the organization is going, and the implications this has on people requirements. The assessment may have to be made in the absence of any articulated business plan, and thus involve questioning top management and key line managers on how they see the future and asking them to interpret what this means in terms of human resource needs. Assessment also have to be made on likely changes in the external environment as it may affect the labor market. And what is action planning? Action plans are derived from broad resourcing strategies and more detailed analysis of demand and supply factors. However, the plans often have to be short-term and flexible because of the difficulty of making firm predictions about human resource requirements in times of rapid change. Plans need to be prepared in the areas of resourcing and flexibility as described in this next slide. First is the resourcing plan. This needs to consider approaches to obtaining people from within organizations, to recruiting them externally, and to attracting high-quality candidates becoming the employer of choice. Internal resourcing, there is three, which is, the first is internal resourcing. The first step is to analyze the availability of suitable people from within the organizations by reference to assessment of potentials and skills database. The second step is the recruitment plan. This will incorporate the numbers and the types of employees required to make up any deficits and when they are needed, the likely sources of candidates, schools, colleges of further educations, universities, advertising, and the internet. And how to recruit, the recruitment program will be concluded. And the last step is employer of choice plans. The recruitment plan should include plans for attracting good candidates by ensuring that the organizations will become an employer of choice. And flexibility plan. The aims of the flexibility plan should be to: first is provide for greater operational flexibility. Second is improve the utilizations of employee skills and capacities. Third is reduce employment costs. And four, help to achieve downsizing smoothly in a way which avoids the need for compulsory redundancies. And the last is to increase productivity. The plan can be based on a radical look at traditional employment patterns. This means identifying the scope for using alternatives to full-time permanent staff, which could include increasing the number of part-timers, job sharing, a flexible arrangement, and shift working arrangement, which I will explain later one by one. part-time workers. This is a term that most of us are familiar with, and maybe there is one of us who is a part-time worker now. It turns out that there are both advantages and disadvantages of part-time, which are first is the advantages. The first is more scope for flexible hours work. Second is better utilizations of plant and equipment by, for example, the introduction of a twilight shift. And lower unit labor costs because overtime levels for full-time workers are reduced. Meanwhile, the disadvantages are part-timers are generally less willing to undertake afternoon or evening work, may find it more difficult to vary their hours of work, and may be less mobile. And then rates of labor turnover may be higher among part-timers. And the last is part-timers may be less committed than full-time employees. And what is a job sharing? Job sharing is an arrangement whereby two employees share the work of one full-time position, dividing pay and benefits between them according to the time each works. Job sharing can involve splitting days or weeks, or less frequently working alternate weeks. The advantage of job sharing includes reduced employee turnover, and because it suits the needs of individuals. The disadvantages are the administrative costs involved and the risk of responsibility being divided. And then flexible hour arrangement. Flexible hour arrangements can be included in the flexibility plan in one or more of the following ways. First is flexible daily hours. This may follow an agreed pattern day by day according to typical or expected workloads, and then flexible working weekly hours is providing for longer weekly hours to be worked at a certain peak periods during the year. And last is flexible daily and weekly hours. It is the varying daily or weekly hours or a combination of both to match the input of hours to achieve the requirement output. And the last is shift working arrangement. This can be introduced or modified to meet demand requirements, to reduce overtime, or provide for better plant or equipment utilizations. And now we can look at one examples that I chose for this topic, which is Coca-Cola Company, and how is their HR planning in Coca-Cola, and we will discuss it now. So what is the strategic development plan of Coca-Cola? According to the website, Coca-Cola ranks among the world's top 10 employers with more than 700,000 employees. Due to the high demand of the product, Coca-Cola employees take on many roles in the production, development, and creativity areas of the company. The company demands forecast the staffing needs. It is imperative that the company focuses on job analysis, which will guide them in forecasting their staffing needs and challenges. The job analysis will assist the company in developing the criteria for hiring and also the training modules for the employees. So how is the recruiting system in Coca-Cola? With an employee base of 700,000, human resource within Coca-Cola is an important factor when seeking, hiring, and retaining talent. With Coca-Cola complex product line, the human resource look for external as well as internal employees when recruiting for the multiple service lines. When looking internally, Coca-Cola is always on the lookout for new talent, be it in experienced hires, the Coca-Cola graduate program, or the university talent program. Coca-Cola is determined to hire the best of the base. They seek out to hire highly competent and qualified people who can think strategically towards the goals. The recruitment at Coca-Cola starts with the job analysis and design so that their responsibilities and the levels of proficiencies needed for each function can be done. And succession planning and knowledge management in Coca-Cola. Succession planning involves identifying key management positions that the organizations cannot afford to have vacant. It is common for the new employee to work side by side with the employee that is leaving. This allows seamless transition for the new employee to be trained by the departing employees. And according to their LinkedIn page part of Coca-Cola talent strategy in succession planning and career development is to coach line managers in career development practices to support their own development and or that of their people. Conduct a need analysis to create learning and development plans. And how is employee development and retaining in Coca-Cola company? Coca-Cola prides themselves in being one of the best companies in the world who offers outstanding benefits packages to their employees. They also offer a vast variety of career development opportunities for their employees, including Coca-Cola University, which is a learning program for their high performers. Once the employee have been hired into the company, they go through employee training, which teaches them the technique and procedures of how and why the work is done, the guidelines and the directions that are followed by the employees. This process assures that the employee has a seamless transition from the previous employee to the Coca-Cola culture where equity is emphasized and the employee initiative is highly instilled. The employees are also trained on various equipment that they may use in the course of their careers pertaining to their job description. The work or organizational change. Incorporating new policies and approaches, the company appoints assistants of their change management team. Change management is a systematic tactic which targets the shifting of a company core managing terms for individual employees from the current or past approach or process to a more suitable future state. And Coca-Cola has product in over 200 countries. With such a base, the management has the role of responding to changes in both local and international markets and with changes of legislation by the government and the modifications in the economy, whether locally or internationally. With over 64,000 employees, Coca-Cola has a responsibility to establish strategies to sustain the current growth and development domestically and internationally. The company can choose to implement an OSM or Office of Strategy Management System that aligns with the organization's objectives that can create individual focus, realize synergies, manage process alignment, communicate, manage strategic initiatives, and also create competencies development programs that provide incentives for employees annually. It is essential for a company this large in size to be able to communicate corporate strategy from executive level down to entry-level employees. In addition, Coca-Cola HR director has expressed the need to employ as many nationals to support its international business as possible. International exposure is critical at all levels within the organizational and training. And I already finished explaining about HR planning, and also we already together look at one example of a company that I mentioned before, which is Coca-Cola company. And now we are going to have a little quiz. There are 5 questions here for everyone who wants to answer the questions. Just unmute yourself, say your name, and mention which questions that you want to answer. there anyone who wants to answer the questions? Just go ahead and say your name and which number that you want to choose to answer.
Tiffany, I answer for number 2.
Yes, please go ahead.
All right, so mention 3 important activities of human resource planning as a decision-making process. And the answer is 1, identifying and acquiring the right number of people with the proper skill. 2, motivating them to achieve high performance. And the last one is creating interactive links between business objectives and people planning activities. That's my answer. Thank you.
Yeah, the answer is correct. Thank you once again. And who else wants to try to answer the questions?
Hello, Tiffany.
Hello, Andrian.
May I choose number 1?
Yes, of course.
Okay. The answer is, it is the process for ensuring that the human resource requirements of an organization are identified and plans are met for satisfying those requirements. That is the answer.
Thank you, Andrian. The answer is correct.
Okay.
We still have 3 questions left to answer. Is there anyone who wants to try to answer the questions?
Hello, Tiffany.
So
I want to try answer number 3.
Okay, Putri.
So what is scenario planning? Scenario planning is described as a formal strategic planning technique, but it can also be regarded as an informal approach to thinking about the future in broad terms based upon an analysis of likely change in the internal and external environment. That is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Putri. Your answer is correct. And who else wants to try to answer the questions? We still have 2 questions left.
Hello, Tiffany. Can
Hello.
I answer number 4?
Yes, Tata, go ahead.
So the advantage of using part-time worker are, first is more scope for flexing our work, and the second is better utilization of plant and equipment by, for example, the introduction of the twilight shift, and the third is lower unit labor costs because overtime level for full-time worker are reduced. And then the disadvantage is, first is part-time are generally less willing to undertake afternoon or evening work, might find it more difficult to vary their hour of work and maybe less mobile. And the second is rate of labor turn-off may be higher among part-time. And the last is part-time may be less committed than full-time employees. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Tata. The answer is correct. And now we have the last questions, which is number 5. The question is, what are the aims of human resource planning? Who wants to try to answer?
Hello, Tiff. May I to answer?
Yes, Afi.
What are the aims of human resources planning? My answer is attract and retain the number of people required with the appropriate skills, expertise, and competencies. And second is anticipate the problem of potential surpluses or deficit of people, ensure develop a well-trained and flexible workforce, choose contributing to the organization's ability to adapt to an uncertain and changing environment. And therefore, reduces dependence on external recruitment when key skills are in short supply by formulating retentions, as well as employees development strategies. And last is improve the utilizations of people by introducing more flexible system of work. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Afi. The answer is correct. Thank you, everyone. To the five of you who already answered the little quiz that I gave you, and then move on to the next section. We are going to have a Q&A session for those who wants to ask me questions. I'm open for 5 questions only. For those who wants to ask, just say your name and then mention your question.
Hello, Tifinny. May I ask question?
Yes, Wahyu.
Okay, there is a difference between strategic human resource and human resource planning, or it just the same term and can be used interchangeably? Thank you.
Thank you, Wahyu. And there's 4 questions left that I'm open.
Hello, Tiffany. My name is Willa. So I want to ask, can you suggest a process to use for human resource planning? Thank you.
Thank you, Willa. I'm going to collect all the questions first, and then I'm going to answer it later. And is there anyone who wants to ask?
Hello, Tiffany.
Hello, Rafi.
My name is Ervila, and I'm going to ask, where does training and staff development fit with human resource planning?
Okay, thank you, Rafi.
Hello, TV.
Hello.
I'm Marsava Yuni. I want to ask, my question is, what human resource functions need to be plain? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arsa. And then the last part are the last questions that you want to ask. I'm still open for
Hello,
one left. Okay, hello, Devi.
I want to ask, is human resources planning only relevant to large company, or should small business do human resource planning too? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Devi, and thank you everyone for asking me these 5 questions. I will try to prepare the answer first, and meanwhile, I'm preparing the answer. We are going to watch one video about HR planning in Facebook company. Okay.
We really don't believe that you have to have a lot of experience to make a big difference. I mean, look at me, right? I mean, I started this from college, so be bold, right? I mean, don't just make the conventional decisions, but think about how can we do something in a different way than everyone else has? Because, you know, what we're trying to do is different than what everyone else has done before.
There were 20 great photos products around in 2005 that had millions of dollars in cash, that had hundreds of features. And here we came along with a handful of people in a month and a half and built a product that boiled down and removed all of those features, except for one thing, which was tagging it, so that we organized the photos on the web around people and it completely changed the experience. That was just like that.
It's like out of your brain and your ideas and a small group of people comes something that touches the lives of hundreds of millions of real people every day.
No matter how big this company gets, it has this David versus Goliath sort of feeling. And I think that's what makes it fun to come into work every day.
Get out there and try something. And don't be afraid. There's lots of people to catch you, and you will never get criticized for trying something for the right reasons and making a mistake.
Most things at Facebook don't happen because it's mandated at a top level. It happens because there's an individual in the company who really wants something to happen, who has that deep passion to kind of figure out all the subtle product decisions that go into making a product beautiful and elegant.
What we're trying to do as a management team is encourage people to see the gap. And that requires being critical and being extremely imaginative.
You can work on huge problems, or you can come up with your own problem and work on that, and you can really have a big impact. It's really early, right? I mean, if you look at the type of information that people share, it's all very simple, right? And the amount of context that people can have about the world around them, the type of sharing that people want to be able to do, the type of things that you want to be able to learn about people around you, it's really just getting started. come into work with a sense of urgency about what we're doing. Even if it seems like it's a simple task on a day-to-day basis, getting it done is the thing that lays the groundwork for everyone else to do the other things that they're doing so that it all adds up to something huge.
I look around the world and I see all the things that Facebook has done, from people who have adopted babies through Facebook to people that have fought for peace in elections like the Iranian election. What I see are individuals connecting. And no matter what your job is here, whether you're in user operations dealing with users, or engineering where you're coding the site, or sales where you're opening a new sales office in a new country, it doesn't matter, because we're all here to serve exactly one purpose, which are those human connections which happen every day through Facebook.
We're so far, far, far away from the vision of what this could be. Which is everything you use and everything you interact with, all the websites you use, the devices you use, they just feel like there's people there. And they're conduits to people that you know and that you care about. And that is an intense, compelling thing that we are out and on the verge of creating. For the first time ever in history, we can build all these new kinds of experiences, and the difference between where we are and what's there, I think, is a handful of people with a sense of determination and a really powerful imagination.
Wait a minute, I'm going to share my slides again. Okay, now I'm going to answer the first question from Wahyu. The question is strategic human resources planning are the same as human resource planning? And technically, it's possible to do short-term human resource planning that is a bit different than strategic human resource planning. In the same sense, one can plan tactically or strategically. However, in basic terms, planning within human resource should be done strategically. Since longer-term thinking is required to effectively manage a human resource over time. If we consider the complexity of any human resource planning process, it seems obvious that the process needs to be strategic in nature. Unfortunately, many companies do not allocate enough time or resources to developing long-term strategic HR plans. So the short answer is that they should be the same. All HR planning should be strategic, manage human resource over time. That is my answer for your question, Wahyu. Is my answer satisfied you enough?
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Wahyu. And then the second question is from Willa. The question is, can you suggest a process to use for human resource planning? The first process is workforce analysis, which is a key component of HR planning is understanding your workforce and planning for projected shortage and surpluses in specific occupations and skills sets. The second process is internal scan, is to identify factors internal to the organizations that may affect HR capacity to meet organizational goals. And then external scan, determine the most important environmental factors expected to affect workforce capacity, given known operational and HR priorities and emergencies issues. And then priority setting and work plan. Based on the organization's priorities, environmental scan, and HR performance-related data. And the last process to use is monitoring, evaluating, and reporting. Monitoring, evaluating, and reporting internally and publicly. Performance results and advances the capacity to measure that the performance, set projects, and most importantly, to integrate results information into decision-making processes and determine future priorities. That is my answer. Satisfied you enough, Willa?
Okay, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Willa, for the questions. And then the third question is from Refilia. The question is, where does training and staff development fit with human resource planning? My answer is, when companies have well thought out and useful human resource plan, it allows them to move training and staff development from a hit or miss process to one that is also strategic, organized, and designed to contribute to the company's bottom line. When training and staff development are linked to identified present and future needs via HR planning, it also allows for the use of multiple kinds of development activities and not just reliance on training for skill development. This is because when skill needs are anticipated earlier enough, longer-term learning and development activities can be used. For example, job sharing and rotation will fit when there is enough time. That is my answer for your question, Refi. Is that clear enough?
Yes, it is, Tiffany. Thank you.
Thank you, Refi. And the fourth question is from Arsha. The question is, what human resources functions need to be planned? The answer is human resource planning refers to the planning of human resource functions, or in other words, planning how human resource management will be orienting, training, evaluating, promoting, laying off, and dismissing. So in effect, HR planning refers to the development of plans in these areas or in similar areas. You may want to develop your own list specific to your organizations, a list that reflects the functions that HR does in your company. That is my answer for your question, Arsa. Is that clear enough for you? Is that answering your
Yes.
question? Okay.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you again, Arsa. And the last question is from Devi. The question is human resources planning only relevant to large or huge companies, or should small business do HR planning too? And my answer is many people associate human resource planning with what very large companies do. That's because almost by necessity, large companies need to have a much more formal and comprehensive approach to HR planning because of their size, of course, and the complexity of their businesses. That said, even a business owner with a very few employees need to think which is a plan about various personal and human resources issues. So even if you have 1 or 2 employees in your company, it's useful to plan like the big boss regarding human resource and personal issues. The methods you use may be simpler, but you still need to do it so you are prepared enough for the company. That is my answer for your question, Devi. Is that clear enough?
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Devi, for the questions. And by answering all the 5 questions from my friends, that is the mark of the end of my presentations today. Hope that we can learn something from it. And thank you everyone for your participations, contributions, and attention to this very end of my presentations. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. Back again to you, Mr. Adi.
Okay, so we have was Tiffany presenting the topic, her topic about human resource planning. Yeah, human resource planning is very important in organization. So I think also Tiffany has involved, many students to discuss. So the question, the student who answer the question are Adelia, and then Adrian and Putri, Tata and Nita, and then the question and Wahyu, as Tiffany, Ayu, Wila, Refilia, Arsa, and Dewi. So when you have organization, so you must know how to plan your human resource. So Tiffany has explained the planning process, the HR planning process. So and the opinion about the HR planning process. So I like this. So you must be able to, you must look at the current human resource supply. The first step, and then the second, you must also look at the future human resource demand. So supply and demand of human resource must be paid attention. So right, and then you must also demand forecast. And then the human resource sourcing strategy and implementation. So this process are very important. So how many people you need now or in the future? So your people must get older and older, so that must get retired, so you must be able to forecast how many people you need and what skill you need for the position, for the job. Yeah, but nowadays many organizations, many business use outsourcing. Yeah, outsourcing the strategy to hire the people, so that because it is cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper because of the cost, so that like a cleaning service. Yeah, cleaning service. So the organization use outsourcing strategy to employ like cleaning service people. And then lecturer also can be outsourcing, so that like me. Yeah, so Untan asked me to help him. I have Untan, it's mean that outsourcing. Yeah, so Untan doesn't need to pay me regularly, but they only pay me the teaching fee. So it is cheaper than fixed lecturer. So that if Untan hire the fixed lecturer for international class, so Untan must cost a lot of money, yeah, to pay the lecturer. So that by doing the outsourcing, so it is cheaper. So it's very important. Yeah, I'm very sure that you can understand Finnish explanation. It is good. It's thematic, yeah, and the language is understandable, so that, and then the speed also good, yeah, and you can understand. Do you understand Tiffany's explanation? Do you understand Tiffany's explanation? Hello. Do you
Understand, sir.
Okay. So in essence, so when you have organization, so you must look at supply and demand, yeah. So it is the law of demand and the law of supply, is that right? Because the workers are in the market, so right? And you need the workers, and you must look at the supply in the market. So when the supply is low, what happen in demand, so right? So the price of workers depend on the supply and demand in the market, so right? Yeah, so you must know I am very sure that you must know the law of demand and the law of supply, so right? So you studied economic theory, so right? Of microeconomic, yeah. So the economic talk about the workforce demand and the workforce supply, and you can compare, yeah. Yes. Yeah. So do you know when is the salary, when is the cost of supply high? When is the cost of worker supply high? When is the cost of workforce high, or the price of workforce high? When? Do you know the answer? When the cost of workforce in the market high? When? Can you answer? When many people want the cakes and the supply is, and there's only small supply, what happened of the what with the price? What happened? So the people want a lot of cakes, but the supply is not many. What happened? Will the price of the cake high or low? Can you answer? Hello? Do you know the law of demand and the law of supply? Hello? Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? So you must know the law of demand and the law of supply. Yeah. So for example, you have a school, you run school, yeah, you run school, and you need a chemistry teacher, so that, and you don't have chemistry teacher teaching the student at school, so that, so of course you need a chemistry teacher, but the supply of chemistry teacher in the market is not many, so that, there's no, yeah, it's very scarce, so that, very scarce. So the probability of chemistry is not many. So what happened of the price of the chemistry teacher? What happened? You run a school, and your school needs a chemistry teacher, so that, Of course, you must find the chemistry teacher in the market, right? And how do you find the chemistry teacher? So you run advertisements, right? You run advertisement to find the where you can get because internally you cannot get it. Nobody, no teacher cannot teach chemistry, so you must get it from from the market externally, right? So in the market, the chemistry teacher is scarce. And what happened with the price of the chemistry teacher? It is high or low? It is high or low. So you want to outsource. You outsource the chemistry teacher. Yeah. Do you understand the law of demand? Hello, can you give opinion, please? Give opinion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please. With your opinion.
The law of demand is if the price is high, then the demand is low, and when the price is low, the demand is high.
Okay. So what about the case in school who needs the chemistry teacher? So the school doesn't have chemistry teacher, yeah. So the headmaster must find the chemistry teacher, yeah. So externally, and in the market, so it is scarce, yeah. So we don't the market doesn't have many, only the market has only a few chemistry teachers, yeah, or candidates, right? So when you what about this? According to the law of demand and supply, the cost or the price of the chemistry teacher, it is
Then
high,
it must
yeah. Tifinny,
high,
yeah,
high price.
please, high.
Since it is scarce and limited, so the price is high.
High, yeah, yeah. Okay, it is high, yeah. So when you want to plan your human resource, so you must look at the supply and demand, right, in the markets, yeah, because the supply and demand, yeah, that influence the price, yeah, of the workforce, right? Yeah. So if it is limited, of course your company will cost a lot of money, so right, to get the qualified and the best people, so right, yeah, because of the supply and demand low, yeah. Okay, have you studied demand and law and demand supply in economic theory? The law of demand and the law of supply, so right, it's very important, yeah, very important. So because and the company also need the good people, so that the best people, yeah, for you, yes, for the company, so the company can get, yeah, the good performance, yeah, and so the good people, the best people can contribute to the performance of the company, so that, okay, yeah. Any question? So it's planning. So the first thing you must do is planning. So after you plan, so what the first is the first you must, yeah, plan, and then how many people you need, and then you do the selection, so that is that the selection. After this, after how there are many type of selections, right? Yeah, yeah, and then after selection you must what must you do after selection? What must you do after selection? Yeah, what must you do after selection? So you must set the people, you give tests, yeah, and the people are accepted, and then you must, maybe you can do trainings, right? After the trainings, you must place them, yeah. So you must put the right man on the right place, right? Yeah. You must give the job according to the competency, to the skills, right? Yeah, and you must be careful in how to place your people, right? And your people must be directed to contribute the performance to the company. Okay. So who will present next week, and what is topic for next week? What is the next topic for next week? Hello, what is the next topic, David? Nobody answer. Hello. What is the next topic next week? Don't you remember? So next week is 36, chapter 36. Yeah. What is the topic of chapter 36? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Me, sir.
Yeah. What is the topic? What is the topic, Adriano? What is the topic next week? Hello, Adrian. Will you present next week? Hello, Adrian. Adrian.
Hello, sir. Yes, I'm chapter 26, sir.
Yeah. What is?
Can you hear my voice, sir?
Yes. What's the topic? What is the topic? From the title of chapter 36. What's the title? Hello, Adrian. What is the title, Adrian? What is the title of chapter 36? Hello, Adrian. Can you hear my voice? Why nobody says no answer my question? What is the title of 36 chapter 36?
Talent management, sir.
Talent management. Yeah. So what answer the lecture question? Yeah. So when I ask you, you must answer because it is ethical to answer the lecture question. So that I ask you the title of chapter 36, you must answer. So talent management. So next week we are going to talk about talent. So this chapter is related to this chapter. Yeah. Talent management. This talent management is related to the human resource planning also. Yeah. So in planning the human resource, you must also look at the talent. Yeah, the talent of the prospective people you want to hire. So that so you must hire the talented people for your company. So that yeah, you must be careful in selecting your people. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very sure that the company must seek the best people. Yeah, best people include the talented people, the skillful people, the competent people, so they can do the job for the company, and the company will be able to get the objectives. Yeah, to get profit. Yeah, in other words, to get performance. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Adrian. Yeah. So this topic will be discussed by Adrian. Yeah. Yeah. So so next week you must explain what is talent management, what is talented people. So right. So I'm very sure everyone must have talent. Yeah. So but then the talent must be different, not same. Yeah. Yeah. Talent is very important. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure you also have talents. Yeah, right? Do you have talents? Do you have talents? Yeah. Do you have talents? Do you have talent? Yeah, you must have talent. Yeah. So you must have
Sorry,
talent.
sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear your voice. Yeah, and you must have talent. So God has created people with talent. Yeah. So
Yes, sir. Talent management, sir.
yeah, talent management. The human being must be able to use that own talent to live in the world. Right? Yeah. So you must have good talent to find jobs in the future. Right? Yeah. So use your talent very well. Yeah. Use your talent very well. It's very important. Okay, before we end this course, please, you must give the closing comments. So you must also tell in details what you have studied from this topic, from this topic, and what advantage have you got from this topic, please. From Irfani, please.
Okay, thank you so much for Tifinny who already presented today. So it's really understandable, and then I learned about the HR planning and also HR talents that something that I remember that about HR planning is when you want to get the HR, you should to know you should to get the right people at the right time and at the right place. So we must ensure that our planning at the first is really uh, uh, it's really realistic, and it's really pokoknya itu adalah yang benar-benar it's really realistic. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's all.
Okay, good. Tiffany?
In today's class, what I get from my own presentation is that no matter how big or small the size of your company is, you must be do the human resource planning, since you want the best of the best employees in your company to achieve your organizational goals. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Putih Harbania.
So thank you for Sir and Tiffany who presented material today about human resource planning. So human resource planning is very important or organization plan. It helps in determining the future human resource needs of the organization, and it also in the process for decided the adequacy of available manpower in organization. Thank you.
Okay. No Pratista Adati Tiaradiar or Tata, please.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for Tiffany for today's presentation. So I learned more about HRM planning, how it's important, and I learned about scenario planning, action planning, and the researching plan. And I hope next week I can learn more about HRM by the other presentation by my friend. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tasha Rabiatul Alfia. Turn on your video, please. Tasha Rabiatul Alfia.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, please.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, exactly your voice.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So from Tiffany presentation, thank you for Tiffany presentation. From Tiffany presentation, now I know about human resource planning. And then I think human resource planning is important because to achieve a goals in organization. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Willa Shola, Gracia.
So from today's discussion that we have done, I got a lot of insight about HR planning. So this HR planning is very important to the success of the company, and factors like growth, change, and technology need to be considered in the process too. And other than that, when we want to recruit the resources of our company, we need to plan the things well. Besides focusing on the company itself, we also need to pay attention to the scarce of the resources in the market, because it also can affect the cost to be incurred by our company. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Arsha Wayune.
Thank you, Sardi and Tiffany, who present our material today about human resource function. And what we have learned today is about the role, aims, and process of human resource planning. Thank you.
Rapilia, Teresa.
Hello, so thank you for Tiffany. Today we got many new insight, especially about human resource planning. So human resource planning is very important for a company to make sure that everything goes well and nothing there have been a problem. So HR planning is also very important for the growth and the development of the trend and other else to make sure that everything is still in contact. Thank you.
Elisa Febrianti.
Yes, sir. So that learn from scenario planning is the ensure decision maker to image possible future event in environment. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Adelia Putiarito.
Okay, so today's class I learned and gain more knowledge from our friend's presentation, Tiffany. And what I learned from this material is important activity of human resource planning as decision making process. It creating interactive link between business objective and people planning activities. Thank you and stay healthy all.
Okay, Adrian Yondo.
Yes, sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, sir, and everyone. For today, I got new insight from management Tiffany presentation, and from the quiz, and from the Q&A section, and from sir. And I hope I can use that for the future. Thank you, sir.
Wahyu Andika.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany, for presenting today material. What I got from the presentation is we must planning the human resource with a future in mind. So if we speak about futures, we need strategic planning. Thank you.
Okay. Kevin Nathanael.
Okay, hello again, everyone. Thank you for Tiffany to deliver a great presentations. Today, I learned a lot, such as the role, the aims, the process of human resource planning, and also the contribution of HR to human resource planning. This is a very important for me as HR department, or in the future when I work in the HR field or as manager, to help the company achieve the organizational goals. Thank you, sir.
Dewi Winarni.
Okay, sir. Today we learn about how important the human resource planning in the organization or company to achieve the goals. Thank you for you, sir. Thank you for the Tiffany as a presenter today, and good luck for this presenter next week. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Muhammad Araji Bagaswara.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Tiffany, for presentation about human resource planning. I learned about human resource planning enable business to meet their current and future demand for talent, allowing human resource manager to anticipate and develop the skill most valuable to an organization and providing the enterprise with the optimal balance of staff in terms of available skill sets and number of personnel. Thank you.
Okay, Nita Disapitri.
Hey, thank you, sir, for the lecture today, and thank you, Tiffany, for the good presentations. So after listening to the presentations, I know that human resources planning is important in organizations because it is make business to better maintain target and employees having the right technical and soft skills to optimize functions in the company. So I hope that this will be useful for everybody in the future. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think it is time for me to say goodbye. So see you later next week, yeah. So next week is Andian understands to talk about the talent management. Okay, keep your spirit and keep your health. See you later next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. You can leave the room. I will leave the room.